Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical analysis. And let's just start with this candle right here. Okay, Bitcoin closing its highest weekly candle of all time. Mega bullish for the chart. Everything looks very healthy, and I think now it's just a matter of when, not if, Bitcoin is going to break its all-time high. I do anticipate that happening in the next, well, it could even happen today. So very, very bullish for the charts. We had a nice dip yesterday, which we'll go over in just a moment. But yeah, highest ever weekly close. Everything looks very healthy. It's had a move up since we got our weekly open this morning, and yeah, we're just looking higher at the moment. Of course, we do have to be aware of levels to the downside. They are still all marked on my charts, and we know the confluence within those areas. But let's just wait for this break of all-time high and see what happens now. It really is quite simple. You wouldn't want to be getting into too many short positions. Of course, it's reasonable to be hedged here. Like I was saying myself on Friday night, that I'd sold a bit of Bitcoin for the first time in quite a while, and it's good to be hedged, good to take out that profit off the table, because you never know, like this could roll over. There's always the possibility of that happening. It's good to take profit, especially if you didn't back here. Like we're back at these levels again. If you fail to take profit here, just pay yourself. I think that's a wise move, and then of course you can buy back in higher once we start to get some support, or a decent pullback when we're at higher prices. Okay, that first pullback is going to be a massive buy opportunity, even if that does turn out to be a longer term top. The first big pullback we get of like 10-15% is going to be a buy opportunity, and that's going to be a great trade for anyone when that does come. So let's just zoom in here and let's have a look at the 30-minute time frame. Okay, so we can see Bitcoin getting this resistance up at the 886 level, up where we had these candle closes on Friday night, and getting this pullback. After getting this pullback, that took the liquidity below 60k, stopped a load of people out, stopped all these late longs out. I had some limit orders placed down here. I had a few of those hit. And yeah, so back in a long position and just really, really just looking for all-time high now. Okay, we do have levels to be aware of, and we're going to see probably small reactions off of each of those, but at this stage it's all-time high that I'm really searching for on this move. So yeah, where can we see the resistance coming up? So what we do have up here is we do have our one-to-one that does come in at 63,200 kind of region. Like we basically got there already. We've then got the minimum kind of expansions of the 1.13 just above this daily level. So we do have this daily order block within here. That is going to be resistance. Okay, if we do zoom out on the chart and we just take a look over here, so there is this block of these 4 daily candles. Okay, so that is going to be a slight resistance when price does come up into that region. Above that, we just have our fibs from our local fibs from this move just here. So we can take a look at the expansions, the 1.13, the 1.272, the 1.414 probably falling within this region as well. Let's just add that on here. 1.414, probably right where that all-time high is. Let's make that, I don't know, this color here. So they give you your typical expansions, and then your 1.618 falling just above all-time highs. So maybe if we do get a move up at this point, let's say we come through here, we come through here, we come into this area, I would expect a small corrective, a small correction off of this 1.618 level. And then just to test around this all-time high, I don't think we're going to break it emphatically on the first attempt. I do think we're going to see profit taking again once we get all-time high. I think that's a reasonable thing to expect. It's not something that we've been hanging around. Yeah, it's not like we've been hanging around at this all-time high for a long time, that there's going to be a lot of stops above this level. I just don't think that's likely anymore. It's been 6 months since we were last here, and any short positions from this area should be like pretty much closed out by now. So whereas we did see a big explosive move from this high at 52, I don't think we're going to see an explosive move up after all-time high. I think we can chop around this area for a while, shake people out on both sides, start to build some liquidity up at these highs here. So come up here, get some shorts in, keep them pushing up, and then that will give the liquidity to be able to generate a move higher maybe later in the week. So although I do think a break of all-time high is coming very soon, I do think we'll see a pullback on that first attempt. Now, we might not. We might just see people going, oh my God, and just starting to FOMO in really quickly, and we might go a lot higher, in which case we need to be aware of these higher targets as well, okay? So yeah, if we do get that, then again, we have a minimum target here of the 1.13, which interestingly enough, coming in around that 69 area. So that would be just from meme value and just the way that the market likes to work. 69s, 420s, they often get a reaction. So I know personally, when we come to $69,420, I think that could be a very reasonable opportunity to scalp a short, just because it is that crazy, this market, that these silly numbers can have a big effect on the market. Okay, 42k stopped us previously. When we were up in this range, there was a lot of the same kind of thing going on. Okay, and these just, it's another one of those that you can almost consider a psychological number. Like, a lot of people will just be like, oh, we're going to short $69,420. I'll probably look to do the same thing. And that's really just the way this market works sometimes. So we do have the 1.13 within that region. Okay, so that is kind of the minimum target for this rise before we see a pullback. Then of course you got the 1.272 over here at 75, and ultimately the 1.618, and this is from this high to this low, coming in around $87,000 to $88,000, which for me is that's been the area that I've been looking for. Okay, maybe we come up here, maybe we chop around for a bit, and then we do this, and then really kind of the next corrective move, I'm looking for around that $88,000 region before seeing maybe a pullback towards this 60k. And then of course we can go on and see if we can tackle that 100k later in the year, if there is time to do that later in the year. We're running out of time. Maybe this goes into next year, maybe we never get there, but these are the levels to the upside that we have to be aware of. And yeah, so far it'll be a blue sky breakout, so all you can really use are your fib expansions. The 1-to-1 coming in here is going to be done at that stage. We of course can draw the 1.618 on here from this low, high, low, and we could take a look maybe at this from a larger time frame, and we can start to go, okay, maybe we take a look at COVID crash low to your high up here, whoop, to our low down here, giving us this 1-to-1 around $90,000. Okay, so yeah, a lot of just this kind of thing. If we do break above here, and we do start to and we continue on with the trending move, then it's really just the fibs that we have, and they'll be what we're using to identify the next resistance levels. So I think that's that on Bitcoin. Let's just see how it goes for the rest of the day and for the rest of the week. We could break all-time high today. It's not unreasonable to think that. Let's have a look on the CPA. Okay, so from a bearish perspective, okay, we do have an 80% setup to the downside. Okay, we did get that close, the daily open, outside of previous day value area. So there is that. We have started the week above where we finished the weekend, and so far it looks all good, but the danger is if we do start to come back down, if we do take out daily open, I think at the very least you'd be looking back down towards the 60,450 region. Okay, I think it's a very likely scenario that would play out. So if we do lose that daily open, we get acceptance back into previous day value area. I think it is almost certain that we'll see this move back down, and then we can pull our fibs again from here to here, which should give us some nice confluence. Golden pocket region, 60,300 we're looking at, and this lines up quite nicely with these lows down here. Now, of course, we may see a move up, and we may end up looking at something more like this by the end of it. You can never really be sure. We might take out this daily level, get that pullback, lose the daily open, come back into this region here, and we'll just have to see where the fibs line up if and when that does happen. Okay, so yeah, from a TPO perspective, all looking good. If we're looking at our open interest here, let's just stay on Bybit for now and we'll have a look at it. It's relatively flat. Okay, so nothing major happening with the open interest. Our delta, so we got a lot of selling down at those lows, which of course a lot of stops being taken, and again delta being relatively flat again right here. Let's have a look on the footprint. So we can see that huge amount of selling down here. We had a 200 million negative delta within a 30-minute candle on a 60 or 600 million candle. So that's a massive amount of selling within that area. A lot of people stopped out, a lot of people shorting these lows, and now getting again this bounce off of it here. Let's just take a look at the other exchanges. So let's have a look on FTX. Big increase in open interest here again. So this could be not so much of a loss of open interest on the move down. Again, it did trap traders at these lows. Okay, you can see the stop losses being taken. You can see shorts at the lows. But delta looking strong. Open interest looking strong on FTX over here. Binance not doing particularly much. In fact, we're building divergence at these levels. So we're seeing declining delta. We're seeing delta decreasing. We're seeing selling up at these highs. Open interest increasing. That would tell me that we're looking at an increase in net shorts right now. Is that people taking profit, or is that people taking short positions? But there's certainly a lot of selling going on right now on Binance. So it's yeah, there's a lot of, for me, I'm looking at higher prices, but there's a big difference between other exchanges at the moment. I'd probably look at FTX being, they're likely to be the main market maker on this at the moment. I would have said this looks a bit more, you're seeing a lot of buying coming in, and I think this is relentless buying. I think spot exchanges, you were seeing a lot of buying as well. So if we do take a look at our spot exchanges, so we can just have a look at those in a minute and take a look on the order book here. So we could have a look on, you know what, never mind about that. Let's just take a look at the heat map anyway, from FTX, and we can just see very little selling pressure here at all on this chart. So it's been like that all morning really. We've just been seeing this buying. We do have an area of resistance coming up here around 62,750 to be aware of, but yeah, really just not a whole lot on the heat map in terms of limit orders being placed here. Binance looking like they want to buy the dip, and again 63k, it's just typical $1,000 increments here with these little sell walls as we do come higher. So yeah, I like the look of this open interest. I like the look of the delta here on this exchange on FTX. Binance doing the complete opposite, and Bybit just entirely flat really right now, so not really telling us any direction that this is likely to go. So yeah, we just got to trust the technicals on this, and for me that is, yeah, maybe we come down, take some liquidity at these lows, 61,800. Maybe we come into the 382 of this move. Let's see where that lines up. We pull this down here. Yeah, I think this starts getting a bit low. I think if we do lose the weekly open, then we're looking at lower prices again. But we'll wait and see how this plays out. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. Let's have a look on Ethereum. So again, Ethereum underperforming, as it has been a lot recently. Okay, so Ethereum BTC pair is down on the day. I know a lot of people were getting bullish on Ethereum over the weekend again, but we're still seeing this pullback. I think this is a decent area for it, but again, if Bitcoin goes on a run, we're likely to see this pullback on Ethereum continue, and I'm really looking down towards this weekly level. We can see if it can hold this 60,000 sats region, this monthly area. If it can continue to hold there, then that's pretty good for Ethereum, and we could start to see it outpace Bitcoin in the near future. But yeah, it's quite a long way off of its all-time highs in comparison to Bitcoin. So that's really Bitcoin very likely to break its all-time highs. Ethereum still stuck below $4,000. Litecoin looking much the same. Okay, it's at all-time lows right now on the BTC pair, and it's still stuck way down here. Like, this is how far off. So whereas Bitcoin is now within a few percent of its all-time high, Litecoin would need to more than double in price to get back to that high from earlier on in the year. So absolutely wrecked in terms of like the underperformance here of Litecoin against Bitcoin. It's just massively underperforming. But then a lot of the assets are okay. We can see DOT is looking one of those that does look quite strong. Um, but yeah, really, it's Bitcoin's moment at the moment, and I would expect that to continue, especially if it does break all-time high. However, that does give up some great opportunities for alts. So let's have a look if there's anything here moving. Matic looking really nice actually here. You can look at this as an inverted head and shoulders, seeing if it can reclaim this monthly level, and then we'd be looking at higher prices off of this. So actually, this looking really quite decent right now. Let's zoom in on this. So that was a poorly drawn head and shoulders. But if we do just draw our fibs onto here, you can see that probably came into the 0.5. There or thereabouts, and from the breakout point, or from the impulse down here. So we do draw this from the impulse, and you come into your golden pocket, and now we're getting a rise back in price on here. So yeah, Matic looking really nice. This was a flip of a daily order block. So this is an old block from back here. It has been acting quite nicely as support and resistance level, just within this region. So we have had that flip from what was resistance back into support. And you'd have to say higher prices on here. So I'm in along on Matic from this green zone. So everything looking pretty nice on that. Acro is another one that's been doing really nice recently. Okay, so we did have this cipher playing out on Acro, and the BTC pair still getting support on this weekly. So this, again, this weekly level has been a big buy zone. So that's another one that's looking pretty good. Anything seeing a pullback? Any opportunities out there? Nothing really pulling back that much. VeChain looking quite nice. RSR coming down quite nicely here. So there's a lot of value with some of these other altcoins. Link, of course, 0x back to this weekly level. Okay, so I'm looking at this as a support level on 0x. It comes all the way from back here. We had a nice rally. We've taken out these lows. Let's see if we can come back into this zone and find support here on 0x BTC pair. But yeah, that's the market, right? It's all Bitcoin right now. So we can look at the Bitcoin dominance, which is still rising. We do come up to this 786 region, but at the moment, again, breaking all-time highs, you'd have to say this is looking like it could put in a range. So maybe we get a few more days, a week or so of upside, we take out these highs, then we can see the alts start to fight back, and we can start to look at this as a range. I do see this 52% region as being very significant, but that would take a really big run on Bitcoin in order to get there, I do think. So yeah, see how this goes. Looking at a range, and that's about that. Total market cap holding above its all-time high here. So I know, depending on what chart you're looking at. Okay, I've been looking at this on a 4-hour chart, and you got our all-time high over here, and we can see it's just holding above this area at the moment. We'll yeah see how that plays out. Again, for some weird reason, whenever you move this around, it shows completely different levels. But there you go. Yeah, the last thing to say is that we've got our first ETF, Bitcoin ETF, that launches today. So is that BTCO? What is it? I need to remember what it is. BTCO, BTCT. I cannot remember. Uh, Bear with me. What is the ticker for this? I remembered it last night. It's BitO, not BTCO. BitO. ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. So I think this is the first one, and this does go live today. So will it mark another high in price, the same as the Coinbase listing did, the same as the CME listing did? Who knows? This is the first of many to come. There are others on the way. So yeah, not looking at that as a bearish sign at the moment. This is the first ETF of probably like 40 or so that we're going to get over the next few months. Maybe once they're all released, then it'll mark a high, but certainly the first one I don't really see as being a major issue for the market. And yeah, nothing else to say on this. Even Coinbase looks pretty good right now. Like look at that. Okay, we've been in a nice range on the Coinbase chart here, so maybe we see it coming back to its IPO price later on, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, bye.